Howdy, howdy, howdy. Y'all know I wasn't gonna forget y'all, right? Yeah, I was running just a little behind trying to get a few last little bits and pieces put together. I got some show and tell tonight, and I couldn't forget those. So forgive me for being just a little bit late, but I'm here and I'm so happy to see y'all out here as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Cliff Notes, May 24th. Is this the last? I never can remember how many days are in May. Maybe the last Monday of May. If not, we've got one more. But I'm so glad y'all are out here sharing it with me. Let me start as always. SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love all the fellow reality fans and everyone that's out here as well. Thank you for coming. I hope y'all are having a fantastic week. It's been a crazy week over here. Man, do I have some stories to tell you? Oh, I got some stories to tell y'all. So I hope y'all are ready for those. Let's see. Oh, my friends are out here. David, Chicky D, Angie. I got a story to tell about Angie. So stay tuned. Amanda, Crosstrack Parker, Don, Ma, Anthony, all my buddies, all my friends. Welcome to all of y'all. I hope y'all are doing fantastic. That's Amanda, Brian. Man, some of y'all came out here early. Well, welcome aboard. All of y'all who've been out here a few times before, some of y'all who maybe first time out here. I don't know. If so, welcome aboard. David, did you finally get rid of those bees? Well, that's kind of the background picture. I tell you, I got some stories, and y'all are getting a sneak peek because I'm gonna post it on Instagram, some kind of story video or something. But I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit earlier how it happened. And then I'll get it posted. I was working on the story over the weekend, just didn't get it done. But anyway, yeah. And Don, I'm here. If I'm not showing up, then yeah, shut down the YouTube and pop back in because I should be showing up. Anyway, welcome to all of y'all. But while we wait for a few people, let me get a sip of Dr. Pepper first. The pause that refreshes. I don't know if that's Dr. Pepper's thing. That's probably someone else's, but hey. Anyway, while we're waiting for some people, we had some fun little celebration days. Is that what they call it? Today, National whatever day. I had a couple of them I was going to throw out at y'all. The first one, for those of you who don't know, hold on, what's? Let me back out. Am I too close to the camera? Is that better, guys? Y'all don't like me. When I was in Japan, it was amazing because when they did the news in Japan, for some reason, the way they do their broadcast over there, they do it like this. This is how they do the news when they're in Japan. We're really close. I'd hate to do that. I'm glad Big Brother didn't have zoomed in cameras. This is plenty fine with me. But anyway, I'm gonna try to adjust it a little bit more. All right, there we go. Hopefully that's okay. Hopefully that's okay. We're good to go. All right. As I said, today is National Escargot Day. I know y'all were waiting for that celebration, right? Y'all know what escargot is, right? Yeah. What is that, Latin? I don't know. I never took Latin, but escargot is just a really fancy word for snails. Kind of like, we don't call it squid, we call it calamari because I guess we think people are going to. Maybe it is French. That would make sense, right? I don't speak French either, so I'll just have to make that assumption. But now, today is National Escargot Day. I picture a whole bunch of escargot lobbyists up in Washington D.C. Or Ottawa and places like that saying, "Now we got to have a special day just for us." Maybe not so much. Someone makes money selling escargot, right? I gotta say, have I had more than once? I maybe have only had snails once. I actually have eaten snails, and it was pretty good. It was really good, in fact. Most of y'all are probably saying, I've had snails. I would have never thought I would have eaten snails. You know what? When I was a kid, I was such a picky eater. I wouldn't eat anything that wasn't something I was used to all the time growing up. I didn't like tomatoes. I still don't really like tomatoes. I didn't eat tuna. Still don't really like tuna, but I'll eat it. But maybe not tuna so much. But the other stuff, vegetables, things like that. I was just a picky eater. But then when I started traveling around the world, I said, forget this, always trying to eat American food. That's not ever going to work. I'm going to eat whatever the locals are eating. And for the most part, that paid off. But I do remember one time in Bogota, Colombia, of all places, I was down there. It was still when it was a little bit dangerous. So they said, do not leave your hotel except when it's time for your meetings and such. Just stay here, eat at the hotel. And I said, all right, that's fine. So I was in the hotel. I went up to the restaurant and they had all kinds of food available. One of the things they had on the plate was broiled. I guess it was broiled escargot, broiled snails. You know what? I guess I get a little more adventurous when I'm traveling overseas and everything. I thought, well, when else am I going to get the chance to eat snails in Colombia? Unless I'm being held by drug lords or something, that's the only thing I've got to eat. Then it may not be so attractive. But in this case, it was in a fancy restaurant. So I ordered these snails, and they brought them out. I got to say, it was really good. Big old, they were inside the shell. Big old snail shells with the snails in them, all covered up in butter, and gave me a little bitty fork to go in there and get these snails out. And no, they weren't alive. That's probably my limit. I didn't want to have any snails moving around. They were all broiled up and everything. They were good. They tasted, I don't know what they taste like. Combined crab meat and mushrooms and something in between. And I don't know. They were good. So happy National Escargot Day. For those of you who just have some snails, I don't know, in your refrigerator, or maybe you got a garden in the back that you've got snails that are eating the vegetables and everything. Hey, go grab some of those and cook them up. Don't blame me, because I don't know the best way to cook them or anything else. So you're on your own with that. I will not be celebrating Escargot Day with a big old heaping plate of snails. I think I'm going to get me hamburger or something instead. But for those of you who like them, enjoy, because today's your day. Escargot all the way around. All right, let's see. What's this anniversary? I'm behind on the comments. Let's see. Sorry, guys. All right, its background's Winnie the Pooh. What does that mean? Well, it's Winnie the Pooh over on this side. It's a whole bunch of bees over on that side. That give you a little bit of a hint what it may be. All right, let's see. Chiggy D, Kenny, happy anniversary on the 19th to y'all in Cross Tracks. Did I mention that last week? I can't remember if I did, but happy anniversary. I'm so happy for y'all. Such a cool thing. I hope y'all did something fantastic on your special day, celebrated every bit of it, having each other. Happy anniversary, my friends. All right, let's see what else. I take Latin and it never taught us that word, Ma, saying, okay, well, Ma, I think we figured out maybe escargot. That sounds like a French word, right? That's gonna be bad. I've been to France once or twice, but only as far as the airport, switching planes. I've never really spent time in France, and it's probably a good thing, because I think the only words I know is bonjour, omelette du fromage. I think it's like a cheese omelet, and now I know escargot as well. And whatever I picked up from watching Belle, Beauty and the Beast, and some of those shows. I don't speak a lot of French. I don't speak any French. But that's all right. Cliff, do you like crawfish? Lauren's asking. Lauren, I love crawfish. Oh, it's so good. I love the way they bring out just the big old container of it. And we're real close to Louisiana, so we got a whole lot of people that eat over there, and we eat it a lot here. I like it super spicy, mixed in with some corn and potatoes. They bring those things out and twist the heads off and eat the meat. And now I like the big crawfish. Sometimes they bring little bitty old crawfish that's more work than it's worth to get that little bit of meat out. But when they bring a nice sized crawfish out there, so good. I love it. Yeah, I like crawfish, Lauren. I absolutely do. All right, let's see what else. So going to anyone's wedding over Nicole Franzel's. Don, don't be saying that. I like Nicole. She played a good game. Love her or not, she plays some good games. All right, Angie saying, I used to not eat sushi until I went to Japan, then I fell in love with it. I didn't eat sushi until I was after college, maybe sometime in my mid-20s. I started eating. I love it now. I eat sushi all the time. So yeah. Oh, and Don saying, Cliff, did you hear that Kiefer's getting married? I saw that. I saw the posting. Kiefer's following me. I'm following him. I sent him a quick little congrats. But yeah, no, Kiefer's getting married. I'm so happy. What an amazing year for Kiefer. He goes on Big Brother. I gotta say, he's away from, how long were they in the house up in Canada? 66 days, something like that. He's away from his girlfriend for an extended period of time. He figured out while he's in that house what was really important, what took priority for him. He didn't win, but as I said when I was in the Big Brother house, he didn't win the game, but he won the big prize because he had someone to come back to that was worth everything else in the world. So yeah, I'm really happy for Kiefer. That's I was cheering for him. So I think y'all seen on past episodes, I was cheering for Kiefer. He was one of my top picks. I really wanted to do. I was impressed with how well he did. Hey, from one fourth place finisher to another fourth place finisher. I told Kiefer, congratulations and welcome to the Big Brother family. All right, let's see. Amanda's saying, how many passport stamps do you think you've had while traveling so much? They asked me to do that as part of, y'all may not know, when they do the little intros for Big Brother, and it's only a minute or so as they introduce each of us in that very first episode, they filmed 30, 45 minutes worth of stuff. And one of the things they asked me to do, they said, can you name every country that you've been to? Do you know it off the top of your head? And I said, I'll try. And so I started naming it, and I figured they would just want to show me just droning on and on with these countries. But I want to say it was like 28 countries or something like that. Now, obviously, Amanda, some of those countries like Venezuela, I just have passport stamp after passport stamp. I completely filled up one passport and had to eventually get a second passport or a whole bunch of extra pages added in because I just used up all the passport pages. So, yeah, a lot of stamps. And that's cool. I still have my old passports, because it's just kind of my own little memento of everywhere I was at. Especially there was a period from the late 90s till the early 2000s, about 10 years, where I was doing a lot of traveling. And so I got all those stamps in there. So yeah, I hold on to those passports. That's always fun. All right, so let's see. Let me keep on going. Ma saying parents' anniversary is tomorrow. Well, make sure to tell them happy anniversary, Ma. That's pretty neat. And Heather Marisa visited Jeju. My brother-in-law took us pick some snails off the rocks. Okay, well, that's I kind of was happy not seeing where mine actually got picked from. Just give them to me on a nice white china plate, and that's all. That's all I need to see. All right, let's see. I'm talking kind of fast, guys, because there's a lot of stuff I'm trying to cover, but bear with me. Yeah, we can get a lot of crawfish. Lauren's saying a lot in Louisiana. We get a lot of over here as well during the crawfish season. All right, who was the last person on Big Brother that you've talked with? Paula is asking. The last person I've talked to, I was trying to think, text or not in person. I mean, in person, it's just COVID and stuff's been tough. But I talked to Nicole on the phone. Did a little FaceTime with her for, I don't know, we talked for a long time last week. So Nicole's probably the last person I've talked to. There are a lot of people I've also texted and things like that. But in terms of actual, back and forth conversations, Nicole's the last one I've talked to. Crosstrack saying, I bet sushi tastes amazing in Japan. You know what the kind of sushi I like is? One of those, I don't know the proper word for it, the train sushi or whatever. You sit there and there's a conveyor belt that goes in front of you. And across this conveyor belt, there's just a bunch of little plates of sushi. And it's like red plates and blue plates and green plates. And depending on what plate you pick, it's different prices. But they each have a little piece of sushi. So you just sit there and you eat. If you see something coming by that looks good, you grab that plate, you pull it off, you eat that sushi. At the end of the meal, they count up all the plates and you pay based on how many plates you got. But that's a fun way to eat sushi because you just see the stuff rotating throughout the entire meal. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's see what else. Let me talk about another one. All right, I talked about Escargot Day. Y'all go celebrate. Tomorrow, we've got another important day. Oh, we got two. One is National Wine Day. So for those of you who are 21 and are legally able to partake, go have a glass of wine. I'm not a huge wine drinker. Inside the Big Brother house, Holly was the wine sommelier, and she gave us all kinds of classes at one point. We had one night where we sat outside and we tried to drink a bunch of wines that we'd saved up, and they all tasted fine with me. I couldn't really tell that much difference, but she could pick out all kinds of fruity flavors and spicy flavors. I'm like, damn, it's just wine to me. But yeah, happy National Wine Day. But the more important, maybe not more important, but also tomorrow, the one that's more interesting perhaps to talk about, tomorrow is National Towel Day. Yeah, there may be lobbyists talking about escargot up in our capitals, but there may be some towel lobbyists as well that are saying, don't forget us. When it comes down to this, think about it. If you had to give up one thing in your life, would you rather give up snails, wine, or towels? Well, I got to say, towels are going to be at the top of my list of things I don't want to give up. I kind of like towels. I kind of like not having to dry off by standing outside and letting the wind blow me. Yeah, my neighbors probably like that as well. But yeah, so National Towel Day. So all of y'all grab your biggest, fluffiest towel and say, hey, thank you, towel, and welcome to your special day. And if the towel talks back, then maybe get a new towel. But no, National Towel Day. I was gonna tell y'all a story about that. I don't, I think y'all probably know the washer and dryer inside the Big Brother house for the U.S. house. Now up in Canada, it's different. For the U.S. house, our washer and dryer was in the backyard, which meant that we only had access to the washer and dryer like 2 days a week or so when we could go out in the backyard. The rest of the time while they're setting everything up and everything, we didn't have access to it. So once you had that washer and dryer available, we absolutely were going out there as quick as we could and trying to get our clothes washed and do as much as we could. One of the times I got probably in more trouble than any other time I've been in the house, we realized, because some of the competitions and stuff, I guess they have to move the washer and dryer and unhook it because there's not enough room back. I don't know what all goes into it, but one time we realized when we got the backyard back that whenever we were running the washer, the ground all around the washer was just getting sopping wet. And it's because someone had not hooked up the drainage hose correctly, screwed it in the little place where the drainage hose needs to go. So whenever the washer was running out all its soapy water, it's just running it out onto the ground itself instead of into this drain where it was supposed to. Well, I looked around and figured out that's what was going on and said, oh, I can fix this. So I started to move back towards the back of the washer to hook this drain hose up. And all of a sudden, Big Brother said, Cliff, stop that. And I was like, no, I can fix it. It's just, look, it's this hose. I just have to screw it into this connection right over here. And so I tried to do it anyway. And all of a sudden, I heard Big Brother say, Cliff, we said no. It was loud and very forceful. It was a special, very mean Big Brother voice that I guess y'all don't really hear on the show. That we didn't hear that much either. But Big Brother called me out, did not want me back behind that washer dryer. Maybe they thought the ground's wet, he's going to electrocute himself. That's going to look bad on TV, and we don't need that right now. So I got called out. Just the voice overhead, but that was enough for me to know that, no, okay, maybe I will just leave it alone. So I couldn't hook the valve up, and it drove me crazy that I could just see. I knew exactly what had to be done, and it was such an easy fix, and they wouldn't let me do it. But whatever. Hey, they eventually got it fixed up. We all go to bed, and I guess some little elves ran out in the middle of the night and fixed it while no one's paying attention. I'm not sure how it worked, but eventually they fixed it. But being National Towel Day, here's the thing. We had so many towels in that house. We start with 16 people, so you got to have a lot of towels. And normally when the backyard would open up, that was the first thing I'd do. Before I even tried to do my own clothes, I would grab as many towels as I could. And it wasn't just me. There were a few others as well. We would grab all the towels. We would take them out and immediately throw those into the washing machine. I mean, within an hour of the backyard opening up. And we would start washing those towels. And it would take most of a full day of just washing and then throwing them in the dryer, and we pull them out and fold them all on the pool table that was there near the washer and dryer, take them back inside, fill up all the drawers in the bathroom, and stack towels up on top. I mean, there were a lot of towels in this house. Stack them up everywhere in the bathroom. And I swear, within 24 hours of us washing all those towels, they were all dirty again. I don't know who it was. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to cover up a name. I really don't know who it was. But there were some people in that house who apparently never wanted to use the same towel twice. So they would shower, they'd dry off, probably use one towel to dry off, use another towel to I don't know, dry their hair. I don't know how it worked, but just a lot of towels being used within a very short period of time. And so I'd walk in 24 hours later and the drawers would be empty. There'd be no towels left. It's like, God, come on, guys, y'all can do something better than that. So I would always make sure to grab whichever towel I wanted to use for the week. I'd hang it up high where no one would get to it. And I'd use that for the whole rest of the week. So there you go. National Towel Day. Y'all enjoy every bit of it. Amanda saying, is Nicole going to come on the Cliff Notes one day? Yeah, I think so. Now that she's kind of stepped away from her show and she's doing some other stuff and all, I told her, I said, hey, you need to come over here. We'll have ourselves a little conversation and talk about the old times. And she said she'd love to do it. Now I'm going to give her a chance. I know she wants to, she's so excited about doing the teaching again, being the teacher's aide with her kiddies and all of that. So she's really excited about that. So I'm going to give her just a second to a little bit of time to get up to speed on that. But yeah, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get Nicole over here and yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I love talking to Nicole. I hate that because of COVID, I haven't really touched bases with anyone in person. It's all been telephone, text messaging, things like that. The last people I saw in person were probably Nicole and Kat, and that was way back at the end of 2019 when we went up to Calgary. Saw Angie there that week, but or night or whatever. But yeah, that's the last time I actually have seen any of my cast in person because I'm the only one down here in Houston. So there you go. All right, let's see. Do you ever hear anything from Sam? Amanda, I hear the same thing y'all do. I watch his stories. He's moved down to Florida and all that. And I've talked to him once or twice. More than once or twice. I talk to him every once in a while just by texting all. But now that he's in Orlando, I'm not that I ever need a big excuse to go to Florida anyway. I love going over there and hitting Disney World and all that. But now that I know Sam's there, I'm going to go hang out with him a little bit as well. Ma saying Cliff met Angie. Yes, I did, Ma. In fact, Angie was up in Calgary when Nicole and Kat and I went up there to do a special meet and greet at a bar up there. It was way too loud. I wish I could have spent more time actually talking instead of just saying, huh? What? Huh? But yeah, I met Angie very briefly, but I may go back just to visit. Maybe I'd go up during the Stampede because the big rodeo they have up there, which would be so much fun. I'm ready for the rodeo to come back in Houston. It's going to be next February. I'm already counting down the days. They announced George Strait, big country western singer. He's going to show up at the rodeo next year. So yeah, I'm already counting down the days. I wear a cowboy hat. I know I kind of stood out on the Big Brother show and all that. When I go to the rodeo here in Houston, I fit right in. But cowboy boots, cowboy hats, about 10,000 of us all out there together. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rodeo. Ma says it's going to win Jeopardy or some trivia show because of me. Well, Ma, I hope so. And I hope if you do that, you take a chance, you take a little time to give me a little shout out as well. And I'll be glad to know that someone finally was able to take advantage of just a little bit of the useless trivia that floods my head every single day. Y'all watch Cheers, right? Cliff Clavin in there, just the king of trivia. I wasn't named after him. I was around way before Cheers came along, but I feel a little kinship with old Cliff from Cliff the Mailman from Cheers. Just a little bit. All right, let's talk about a couple other things. Let me do this. I got a story to tell. All right. I'm going to do two things. I want to talk about Angie, but before I do that, I'll go ahead and talk about my bee battle since a few of y'all have asked. All right, so let's talk about my bees. For those of you who may not have been here last week, I probably talked about it before then. I had the porch above my house, a few bees buzzing around. A few. It turns out there were a whole lot more than I expected. But bees buzzing around, they actually showed up last year. And I spent the whole last part of last summer hoping they would go away when the winter time came. They would just disappear. Bees don't do that. Apparently, they formed a hive and they beat their little wings fast enough that they can stay warm even through a Texas summer. Even got so cold down here at one point in March. Doesn't matter. February, doesn't matter. They still survived. And sure enough, this spring, they popped up again. I could see them swarming around. Our roof is like 20 feet up in the air because it's a 2-story house. So the bees were a little far away from where we walked out the door, but there were days they were loud. You just hear zzz, them all buzzing around and everything. And so I had to do something with the bees. I didn't want to kill them because bees are in short supply. It's a bit of a tragedy going on right now. Way too many bees are dying, not enough honey's being produced and all that. So I called out, instead of an exterminator, I called out a beekeeper and said, "Can you take care of these things for me?" He said, "Well, sure. I can come out and do something with you." So the beekeeper came out last Tuesday, and I was so excited. I was so ready. And he shows up, and sure enough, he's got his white beekeeper gear. Why is it white? All that honey from beehives, shouldn't you have yellow beekeeper gear? So then the honey doesn't stain everything, so you don't have to worry about washing your clothes as much as they do. But I don't know. I guess there's tradition, like fencers that do the fighting with the swords and everything. They wear white, and beekeepers think they have to wear white as well. I don't know. Maybe it's like mimes or something. They have their uniform they have to do. But anyway, so the beekeeper shows up with his full uniform on. He has one of these little smoking things, puts a bunch of little hickory chips in it to create all this smoke to calm the bees down. Now, it didn't seem to calm them down when he did it. It just looks like it kind of upset him. But he knows better than I do. So he goes up on top of this really tall ladder and checks it out. First thing he did, and again, I'm going to do a story on this so you'll get more details. We had a little thermal scanner that actually showed exactly where underneath the roof these bees were congregated based on the heat being 2 or 3 degrees hotter there. So he said, yeah, it's up in this corner. We're gonna have to take out a piece of plywood, a 2x4 section of plywood. We'll clean out all the hive and the bees and the honey, and you'll be good to go. All right, that's fine. Yeah, go to it. I'm glad you're doing it, not me. So he goes up on this long ladder. He cuts, smokes them all out, and then he cuts this little piece of wood. Well, I've been around the house. They haven't really bothered me that much. I've been stung once or twice so far, but that's it. Hurt. It hurt really bad, but they weren't bothering me that much. So Sharon and I both kind of stood outside watching. Now we're way far back. We're quite a ways back, but we said, we'll watch and see what happens. As long as we don't get too close, we should be okay. Well, that worked okay for a while, but once he pulled the plywood off and got these bees all riled up, it got a little interesting. I've never done this before on the show where I'm going to share a video, and if it doesn't work, well then I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to share a video, and y'all watch. It's only about 15 seconds of me watching the bees for a little while, and then we'll see what happens.
Now they're upset.
Oh, he's up there. He's all flying around. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. And that's me running when they suddenly decided that there was a fresh target right over there that wasn't wearing any kind of bee gear. We'll do it one more time. So I thought I was far enough away. No big deal. Zoomed in, watch all that. And all of a sudden, they start swarming around my head. I'm out of here. And I ran faster than I think y'all probably expect that someone like me could ever run. Because I ran pretty fast. And I ran pretty far as well. Let me see if I can go back to me. First of all, I guess that showed up. Y'all tell me if it didn't. If I'm just sitting there laughing and y'all can't see the video, then sorry about that. But no, it's so I'm sitting there watching. Sharon is on one side of the house, and she sees me all of a sudden doing this stuff and running as quick as I can. And she's laughing so hard. And I had to run a long way. I probably had to run, I don't know, 4 or 5 houses down the street. And these things are still chasing me. And I thought, well, how am I going to run a mile? I'm going to set a personal record for running the fastest mile if these bees keep up that whole time. But eventually they stopped. I caught my breath and I didn't get stung. I'm amazed. But they certainly chased me away from the house. And I get back, and sure enough, Sharon, once I was gone, they decided to go after Sharon as well. Next thing I know, Sharon had one in her hair. It actually stung her on the back of the head. What a weird place to get stung, right? In the back of the head, but she has a big old welt where she got stung. And so at that point, we said, okay, we're out of here. We're going indoors. So we actually, we couldn't even go in through the front door because they're so riled up. So we had to circle way around, get in the backyard, go inside the house. And we watched the rest of the entire operation from indoors behind a glass window. And I'm glad we did, because those things were not happy whatsoever. They're buzzing everywhere. It's amazing. And again, I tried to get more pictures I could show you all night. It's just technical issues I couldn't get working. But here's the kicker, guys. These bees, I got a beekeeper just because I want to protect the bees. I want to protect the honey and all that. So, it's important. Well, that turned out not to be possible, because this hive of bees, they weren't just regular old honeybees. No. No, these bees were killer bees. Yeah. Africanized bees, killer bees, aggressive, mean, sting you anytime they get a chance kind of bee. Yeah. The beekeeper said that based on his guess, about 50% of these bees were Africanized bees. And I didn't know how that works. I thought it's all or nothing. But he said, no, the queen mates with about 10 male bees. And so about half of the ones she mated with were killer bees, and half of them were regular bees. And he says, as a result, the ones that are going after y'all way out there in the yard, those are the killer ones. He got stung about 30 times, he estimated. His assistant said she got stung about half a dozen times or so. So he said, yeah, some of them are real passive and gentle, but about half of them are super aggressive. They're going after us everywhere. And so, yeah, it got so bad that they took caution tape and they strung it up around our entire yard. And our next door neighbor came out with a trash can, and they said, yeah, you may not want to do it right now. And so she went back in, and I felt so bad because round about 2:30 or 3, I start seeing these kids coming off the school bus to come home after school. Fortunately, he was almost done by then. He got most of them taken care of, so we didn't have any issues. But these bees were tough. They were scary bees. Now here's the other thing, guys. When he got done, he had 2 big garbage bags filled with honeycombs, just honeycombs. Some honey, but not as much as is normal, because apparently killer bees they're too busy worrying about who they can sting next rather than producing honey. They don't produce near as much. So not as much honey, but huge beehives filling up two trash bags filled that were up in my roof. He also sucked them out with a vacuum, his version of a vacuum cleaner. It looked like something you'd have at a car wash. I'm just holding the hose up, sucking all these bees out into the big 5-gallon container. When he got done, he weighed the container, told us we had 18 pounds of bees. Not honey, not honeycombs, 18 pounds of just bees sitting in this container. Now, I don't know how much a bee weighs. I've never tried to put one on a scale and check it out. But fortunately, the beekeeper has done, I guess, just that. He said, coming from the expert, he said that the typical bee, there's about 300 bees per ounce and 16 ounces in a pound, which means if you take 18 pounds of bees, that works out to about 82,000 bees. 82,000, half of which are killer bees. So that means I had about 41,000 killer bees in my house. Yeah. Suddenly I'm kind of happy I only got stung a couple of times, because I think it could have been a whole lot worse. Now, I did bring a little show and tell. They threw away most of the honeycomb, and I didn't mess with it because it wasn't worth it. But I did get little, can you see it? I did save one little part of the hive that was up in the attic, or up in the roof itself, that was pretty clean and everything. Isn't that cool? Looks just like, I guess you'd expect it to look like. But the ones he was pulling out, I mean, they were chunks like this. They look like cinder bricks filled with honeycombs and everything. So there were a lot of bees up there, but he got it all done. And when he finished up, he vacuumed everything out. He scraped out all the beehives, sprayed some kind of repellent, put insulation up in there, put the wood back on, sealed it all back up. You can't even tell there were bees there anymore. So he did a fantastic job. I was so happy. It was worth getting them out there and doing it. Now, I did ask him, I said, so what are you going to do with these bees now that you know they're killer bees? Well, they can't keep them. They can't put them in with hives and everything else. So I'm not real sure. I kind of heard a story that maybe they were going to be taken out in the middle of nowhere and let go. I have a feeling it's more likely he just didn't want to hurt my feelings and they're going to kill all of them, which they're killer bees. I don't care. Take out every single one of them. I want the regular old friendly honeybees to survive. Killer bees, man, you do whatever you have to with them. You're not going to get any tears from me on that one. But he did he did have he got it all taken care of, and I've been walking out every day looking at that roof just to make sure. Haven't seen a bee in sight. So we got the bees taken care of. It was exciting. And Angie saying BB can have a runaway from the bees competition. I'd win. No one would expect me to win. I mean, look at me. It's not like I'm a marathon athlete. Oh, and congratulations to Angie. I saw she ran a 10K. I saw that as well. But now it's not like anyone looks at me as a 10K athlete. But you know what? A few killer bees over here. A few killer bees like this over here. You're going to see me winning any marathon you put me up in, because I'm going to be running faster than anyone else. I can fly when I have to fly. But yeah, running away from... I did think about it during the Black Forest, our banishment competition, the Dark Forest, where David and myself and Kimmy and Jessica had to try to get back into the house by making it through that maze. There was one room that was the BB room with bees, had buzzing and honey everywhere. I know Jessica ended up in that room. I didn't, but Jessica did. I think she lost a shoe and socks and who knows what else in that room, just filled up with honey and lots of bee type things and everything else. So yeah, if they have a bee competition at Big Brother House, I'm ready to go. As long as it's there, I don't want any more bees here in Houston, at least not in my house. If they want to go into some trees behind the house or something, that's great. I mean, they do a great job. They pollinate all the stuff I like growing in the backyard, but yeah, they don't mix well in the house. So there's my bee story. Y'all keep an eye out. I'm going to put a whole little video together on it, and I've got a lot more pictures and everything else. And show the entire process from start to finish of my adventure with bees. But hopefully that's it. Hopefully y'all aren't going to have to listen to any more about it from this point on. I got it taken care of. Well, I didn't. I just sat there and watched. The beekeeper got it taken care of. All right. So the other big story, the big thing I wanted to talk about tonight, because it was so cool and so incredibly thoughtful. Angie Hung, who's been out here forever. Angie was watching even when I was on TV Co as well. I met Angie once time up in Calgary. Consider one of my absolute best friends. I'm so happy to have met her as a result of Big Brother. One of the best. I've said it before. The best part about Big Brother, obviously playing the game was huge, but all the people I've met since then is the best part of the entire experience. And it's a part I hadn't really thought about when I was in the house, but it means so much to me now. But Angie, all right, and Angie saying, I don't like any animal with killer in front of it. All I know, at least these were killer bees and not those killer hornets or killer wasp or whatever they show, the things that are about the size of a hummingbird. You see those things. I'm not sitting indoors while the beekeeper gets those things out. I'm traveling over to California or back up to Canada or somewhere until they tell me those killer wasp or killer hornets are gone, or the murder. That's what it is. Murder hornets, right? Those things look miserable. But getting off on a tangent. Angie Hung, though. Angie knows a few things about me. She knows that as though y'all do too, I am a huge fan of musicals, in particular, Jesus Christ Superstar, because I listened to it so much when I was growing up with my parents. I know every word by heart, every song by heart. Well, Jesus Christ Superstar was written, music, Andrew Lloyd Webber, lyrics by Tim Rice. Just a personal hero of mine. And Angie knows everyone in the world. Forget 6 Degrees of Separation with Kevin Bacon. Just insert Angie's name in there, and she knows everyone, including Tim Rice. So, as a birthday gift, Angie did the most incredibly thoughtful thing. Angie sent me a DVD of Jesus Christ Superstar, the raw arena version of the show back from 2012, I think, something like that. It starred Sporty Spice from the Spice Girls. Angie also knows the Spice Girls. I had Mel C, Sporty Spice from the Spice Girls, playing Mary Magdalene. And Angie says she saw it twice while she was over in the UK, which is incredibly cool. That's really neat. But she sent me the DVD of Jesus Christ Superstar, which I'm going to pick a perfect time to watch it, and I'm so excited about that. But that's not all. Oh, no. Because she also reached out to Tim Rice and had Tim Rice do a few little special things as well. Here's the DVD cover for Jesus Christ Superstar. And you can see, which side over here, I guess, yeah. For Cliff from Tim Rice. He signed the DVD cover. Isn't that cool? Oh, that's so cool, Angie. You don't know what that means to me. And he also sent me a postcard. You'll see that. To Cliff, best wishes and happy birthday, Tim Rice. All right, now I know most of y'all are like, man, he's just some guy who wrote a play. That was back in 1972 when he wrote Jesus Christ Superstar. It'd be like meeting Da Vinci or Picasso or something. I mean, that's truly what Tim Rice is just. He's Tim Rice. I saw that. So Angie, thank you. I got that in the mail over the weekend and was just so incredibly excited. It's everything. It's Jesus Christ Superstar. It's Tim Rice. It's the Spice Girls. And I know y'all don't look at me and think, oh, well, there's a Spice Girls fan. Y'all need to know. Back in the late 90s, I was on an oil rig up in northern Louisiana, and I was responsible for videotaping the experiment we were running and providing some music and things like that. I was playing the Spice Girls over the loudspeakers for all these oil field guys all around. That was 98, 99. And hey, I've always liked the Spice Girls. So that's a perfect combination. But Angie, thank you so much. Tim Rice personalizing something for me is just incredible. You can tell by my smile. I'm pretty excited. So thank you, Angie. I appreciate that so much. And like I say, now, but have y'all ever heard movies where you almost don't want to see it because you know it's going to be so exciting and so special the first time you see it that it just has to be perfect? Everything. the house has to, you have to be in the right mood, the right food, the right lighting. Everything has to be perfect because you know it's just going to be an amazing movie. That's kind of the way I am with this one. I've seen so many versions of that musical, but this one I'm gonna have to make sure that everything's just lined up perfectly, and then I'm gonna watch it, and it's gonna be Sharon. I gotta say, I'm not sure how much Sharon likes watching some of these musicals with me because I sing every song. That may take away from the effect. I don't know. Maybe I need to do a YouTube video just of me watching these and just have the camera on me singing every song. I'm not in tune. I'll sing off key, but I'll still sing. That's never stopped me before. I don't know if anyone could handle 2 hours of that as a YouTube video, but maybe a few minutes here and there. Ma saying my civics teacher dressed up as Sporty Spice and he reminds me a lot of you. Okay, well, all right. I've never looked at myself and said, Sporty Spice and me, man, we're like twins or something. Yeah, maybe not so much, but all right, that's pretty cool. I think if you two ever met, I think you two would get along real well. I probably would, Ma. I'm a pretty laid back guy. I think I get along with a lot of people. So yeah, okay, that'll work. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, and Brian's asking Angie if she's ever applied for Big Brother. I think Angie has said that she's not doing Big Brother. Didn't you say, Angie, that you only want to do maybe the Amazing Race? I think that's the case. But if you ever want to go on Big Brother, man, I'm going to be your biggest fan. Any of y'all out here, any of y'all that are out here watching this show, if y'all make it on Big Brother, you better give me a shout out. And just know that I will be working behind the scenes to make sure that you are America's favorite player over anyone else in that house, and you will have any kind of America's vote. I got your back. I'll take care of you. I'll make sure that you are taken care of. And Pinky saying, looking forward to your Cliff Notes for the summer. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that. It depends on what's going on. We'll see, but I'd love to do it every night. I'm just not going to make that promise just yet because I'm gonna have to see what's going on. But if not every night, then I'll make sure I do some kind of wrap ups and everything because I'm going to be watching. I'll be paying attention throughout the whole thing. Cindy, hey Cindy, I see that you came in a little late. You missed all the good stuff, but fortunately, it's all on replay. So now, it's all out there when you get a chance. So I'm just glad you came on as well. Crosstrack saying I'd like to be on Survivor. I'd do Survivor. I think Survivor would be fun. I don't know how I'd handle eating just 1 cup of rice a day. I'd get a little hangry. Probably if I'm a little hungry, I'm probably get a little shorter in my temper, a little more sarcastic in my comments. I don't know how well that plays when you're playing a strategy game, a social game like Survivor, but that'd be fun to do. Did y'all see in the latest news, not really Big Brother news, I guess it kind of is because it's Rachel Riley, but Rachel Riley from Big Brother and from several seasons of The Amazing Race, she is now saying that she wants to go on Survivor and play that game. I'd like to see her. I don't know how well she would do. Now, maybe she'd surprise me, but I don't know. It'd be fun to watch her on the Survivor. Hey, put Rachel and myself on Survivor. Let's see how a couple of Big Brother people do. That'd be kind of fun. Ma saying would not do Survivor. My last pick on reality shows, though it's my favorite of the 3 to watch. Yeah, Ma, once upon a time, I probably would have said, man, I love Big Brother, but I'm not going to go into a house for 99 days. There's not a chance in the world I'm going to do that. Well, opportunities come up, and how do you say no? But yeah, hey, if they give you a chance, do it. It'd be a lot of fun. All right. Auntie Pinky said, hello to your mom. Auntie Pinky, you showed her who I was. Thank you. Did say hello to your mom for me, please. And Ma say that his mom listens. That Ma, who was it? Well, Ma, your mom listens also sometimes. So, howdy Ma's of the world out there. I hope y'all are all doing fantastic. All right. Wow, what time? 7:47. I feel like I've just been talking away, but now it's been fun. God, we had the bees to deal with, but that got taken care of. And then I don't know if y'all remember, I also had a hot water heater that went out last week. Had to get replaced. That was an adventure. The people showed up with 3 different hot water heaters. The first one wasn't the one that they were supposed to deliver. Didn't work in our house. The second one they show up with is too wide. It won't fit through the hole that goes up into our attic. And they said, well, could we cut a new hole in y'all's ceiling somewhere to put this up there? No, you're not cutting any holes in my ceiling. We've got just the right number of holes that go up into our attic at this house. So I made them take that away. They finally came back with a third hot water heater, which was perfect. And man, lifting this big old thing up into the attic, not easy, but that's why they got paid to do it, not me. So I finally got to take the hot showers again. Again, I would have been a horrible have not in the Big Brother house because I can't stand the cold showers. So as soon as I got the hot water fixed, I was ready to have a celebration. No bees and plenty of hot water. Life is good in the Hogg household. That's all I needed last week at some point in time. Angie's saying I should host the battle back. I would love to host. I would love to host the battle back and just give a big old handshake and hug to whoever gets back into the house because I know how important it is for them. The only problem with hosting the battle back is typically, I don't know if that's always been the case. Maybe it's always been the case. No, it's not always been. Lots of times the battle back is a live competition. As soon as someone's voted out, then it's a live competition. So Julie's doing the talking. She's doing the hosting in those events more so than having a person there. Now, as I said that, I do remember a few times like when Victor did his battle back and he had to keep beating people to advance to like the next round and everything. Those I think were recorded ahead of time. And there have been times where every week you'd have people going against each other to see who advanced the next week until they finally fought to get back in the house. So it's not always live, but I don't know if any of the battle backs have ever had a person actually there hosting the event. And I think that's probably the case for just even HOHs in general. Maybe one, I'm not going to say never because I could be wrong, but most of the time, like my season, we had Casey and Tyler and Caitlin all showed up, but they all showed up for veto competitions. And so that's more typical where you get the guest host. But I would love to do one of those. Yeah, hey, have one rolling a ball, and I will be there cheering them on. And that'd be a lot. It'd be a lot of fun. Brian saying Kelly Wentworth is giving tips for getting and being on Survivor via TikTok. Oh, okay. I know she's done a lot of that before, and there's other people who do little hints about getting on these shows and everything as well. And I've talked to some people about it, and hey, it's. Part of it, you just have to be you. But there is certainly some things that people who've been on a show, they probably know what the producers are looking for, what they expect. And so there's probably some things that you can do. And, I always tell people, make sure that you've got stories to tell, make sure that that you can carry on conversation. Look at me. If they ask you a question that can be answered yes or no, don't answer yes or no. Give them a 10-minute answer until they finally just almost have to shut you down. Trust me, I got in talking to a few producers and everything, and I feel like there was probably a point where they said, "All right, Cliff, we've heard enough. We get it. You didn't need to give us 30 minutes on the last movie you saw on TV, right?" But they like people with conversations, so always keep that in mind. But yeah, Kelly's, I'm sure she's got some great hints, so you may want to pay attention to those. Cindy saying start the application for the Circle season 3. All right, now that'd be interesting. I still haven't finished the Circle season 2. I've watched part of it. That Chloe, she was from what dating show was she on originally? The UK something, right? Or was that the UK Circle? I don't know. There's so many out there. No, Chloe was on the UK reality dating show, and then she was on the season 2 of our show. She's fun to watch. I haven't finished the season yet, but she's certainly interesting to always watch. Ma saying it's always a good week if you have Cliff's mindset. Well, I hope so. I try to stay optimistic. What's that saying? Lord help me change the things I can change and not worry too much about the things I can or ignore. You gotta stay positive. It makes life so much better as a result. Victor was the battle back king that season. Ma saying Victor won a lot. He did. I'm kind of proud that I've been voted out. Is that something you should be proud of? That I've been booted out of the house as many times as Victor, and I made it back as well. That's kind of cool. I guess I would have rather. I don't know. I was gonna say I wish I hadn't been ever booted out to begin with, but it means a lot more, I guess, that I was banished on day one and fought my way back in. That I was voted out and fought my way back in. At the time, I was a little chapped. At the time, I wouldn't give them anything not to be the person having to fight their way back in. You talking about stressful. That is the most stressful. hour or so waiting for that competition when we were banished. I just thought, oh, I can't believe my dreams are coming all undone on day number 1. I'm not even going to get to sleep in the Big Brother house. So yeah, once I got back in, I'm glad I had that chance to kind of prove myself. But yeah, I would have preferred not to ever have to do it in the first place. Let's see. Same with Lauren Beck. Rockstar is now giving out tips to be on Big Brother. Parker saying, yeah, I saw Rockstar's doing that as well. Rockstar, talking about another character. And I love watching her on social media as well. She's a lot of fun. And her boyfriend, husband, I'm not sure if she's married, but tattoo artist that just does some amazing tattoos. I don't have any tattoos yet, but if I was to get one, he may be the one I'd go see. Paradigm Inc., I think, is who his company or whatever. I mean, he does some amazing tattoos. I placed higher than Victor. Brian saying, okay, well, there you go. So I fought my way back in, and I placed higher than Victor. I haven't met Victor in real life. I'd like to one of these days. I was invited to Nicole, and what do Cliff, Hogg, and Janelle have in common? Neither one of us were invited to her wedding. I didn't expect to be invited to her wedding. Now, I'd love to see Victor one of these days. Just to touch bases, share notes with him at some point in time. Ma saying, anyone ever notice that every older person gets voted out either first and fourth to last, or in Cliff's case, both? Well, yeah, I certainly partook of as many experiences as I could while I was in that house, right? I got to say, when I went in there, I was thinking about Glenn and Steve and some of these guys who got sent home so early in the process, and thought, yeah, don't let that be me. And yes, Kevin went a lot further. And then way back, Yoda season, is it 10, I think, where Jerry, he was like 73 at the time, and Jerry lasted till I think 3rd place. So yeah, every once in a while you can get an older person that goes further. But geez, my season, so many physical competitions. For me to make it 4th, I'm pretty proud of it. Yeah, trust me, I was thinking about some of the older people who didn't quite get as far down the road during their season. So I was real happy to get back in. And let's see, who else? Is there a big player, BB player you haven't met yet but would love to? Yeah, there's so many of them, Angie. Man, I can't. Some of these big charity events, like there's going to be one, Hearts of Give Kids the World, the Hearts of Reality thing over in Orlando in August. If I can swing it, I'd like to go over there and meet some people. Who would I really like to meet that I haven't met yet? There's so many of them. Brittany is one of my favorites. Ian's one of my favorites, but I've met Ian, and Ian's as cool in person as he is on the screen. Who else? There's a few. If I start throwing out names, I'm gonna miss people. I met I can't think of them now. But anyway, yeah, I'm not gonna start throwing. There's a lot of them. James Hewling lives up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He was a jokester during his season, which I kind of like, and I'd love to hang with James one of these days. Head up to the Stockyards, our cowboy area up in Fort Worth, and there's the bunch. I really would like to meet just pretty much everyone, because we all have shared experiences, but we all have our own stories as well. So that'd be good. Aunt Pinky, do you have to be in good health to be on Big Brother? Well, you can't be in bad health. We did have to go through a medical exam as part of our tryout process, I guess, and we did blood samples and got a full head to toe checkup to make sure we didn't have horrible situation. I can't imagine, from just liability reasons, if you have dangerous health issues, cardiac, whatever it is. I'm sure there are things that they don't want to have to deal with in there. So yeah, you have to be in decent health. I mean, look at me. I think okay health, and obviously good enough to be on the show. But yeah, you've got to be in decent health, because it is strenuous. It's strenuous just being in there from a mental stress standpoint, but also some of the physical stuff we do. It is hard. So yeah, you have to have a certain amount of health as well. Cindy saying, did you know Julie is on Clubhouse? Yeah, Cindy, I knew that. I had seen her out there, and when she did her little reveal, was it last week? Has it been that long? I guess so. When she did a reveal about July 7th for Big Brother and all that, I was watching that. Show or listening, because you don't watch Clubhouse, you listen. But I was listening to her little deal. So as soon as she did that, I posted, what I'd learned and all that. So yeah, I'm on Clubhouse as well. So if any of y'all are out there, go out there and follow me. I don't do it a whole lot. I haven't quite figured out that particular platform, but yeah, I follow Julie and watch when she does her little things and all of that. All right, let's see what else. 7:58 already. Goes fast. So much stuff going on, but anyway, yeah. Is there anything else I forgot? No, I was gonna do some movie reviews and things like that, but we'll do all that next week. I'm always running out of time because I'm so busy talking about towels and escargot. Right now, the main ones were talking about the bees and talking about just how incredibly thoughtful Angie was with her gift and such. But guys, we're gonna shut it down. Man, it's been raining here all weekend long. I hope y'all are having decent weather. It's about springtime. Enjoy it before it gets so hot that you can't go out and enjoy it anymore. That's what we're going to have down here. Once the sun comes out, and it's been raining all weekend long, the humidity is going to be like 105%. Yeah, I know that's not physically possible, but in Houston, they'll figure out a way to make it happen. So y'all have a fantastic week. Stay safe. Enjoy the last full week of May. And I will be back next Monday, May 31st, June 1st. I'm not sure which it is because I can't keep track of that stuff. But I will be back next Monday. Until then, y'all have a fantastic week. Give hugs to your loved ones, your family, and everyone else. Tell them how special you are. Or you're special, but tell them how special they are to you as well. And y'all have a great one. SKD143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love all the other reality fans out there and love all of y'all as well. Y'all stay safe, my friends, and I will see y'all next week. And stay away from the killer bees. Cheers, guys. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.